Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, and something that could only happen in China. Chinese officials have actually looked in on the auto manufacturers that are going on inside of the country and have decided that there are too many of them. And they've handpicked 48 manufacturers that they've told to close their doors for good or face a massive audit, or they could actually go in and merge with another manufacturer. Something that could only happen in China. Next up on the list, let's talk about sales, unit sales, for the first 3 quarters of 2013. And we're going to talk about the top 3 sales earners as far as units being sold. Third up on the list is Volkswagen. Volkswagen has sold 7 million units around the world so far in the year of 2013. Second place comes in with General Motors, the American manufacturer, who has now sold 7.2 million units for the year of 2013. And the leader in the clubhouse is someone that's probably pretty recognizable and not a huge surprise. It's Toyota. Toyota sold 7.4 million units around the world in the year of 2013. The most interesting thing to me is this is a pretty titanic and very tight battle between these 3 manufacturers. And any one of them could be number 1 at the end of the year if they get a strong 4th quarter. So it's going to be pretty doggone entertaining to watch. So we'll keep you in tune to what happens with it. Next up on the list, many of you may know, late great Formula One racer Ayrton Senna, who tragically was killed in Imola almost 20 years ago. Well, Ayrton Senna's legacy lives on through a number of different ways, but apparently it's going to go back into the video game world. Hearing that Gran Turismo 6 is going to have an Ayrton Senna package, especially one that's going to be sold in Brazil, for where Brazilian Ayrton Senna actually came from. Now, this particular package that's going to be sold in Brazil is you're going to be able to get a brand new PlayStation 3 and the new Gran Turismo 6 in a bundle pack. Not for sure if this is going to be sold anywhere else around the world, not to mention haven't heard real pricing on this thing. The most interesting thing about this is Gran Turismo doesn't have people in it for the most part. Even though the last iteration did have Jeff Gordon and Sebastian Loeb in it a little bit, but I don't know what Ayrton Senna is going to do in this game, as those 2 guys were basically doing voiceover stuff. But what I would love to see is I know Ayrton Senna actually worked on the development for the Acura or Honda NSX, so maybe he's lapped some circuits around the world. Maybe you'll get to go out there and try to beat his time. It'll be pretty doggone entertaining, but not for 100% sure how this is going to work. All over the world, you can get it just as downloadable content as well, so should also be pretty doggone fun to mess around with. Gran Turismo 6 is going to be going on sale in the U.S. in the first couple of days of December of 2013. Next up on the list, BMW has got to be tickled pink. Their brand new i3 is going to be going on sale in the U.S. in the mid part of 2014. But it's going to be going on the sale in the European market in just a month's time in November of 2013. So BMW's actually started pre-orders for this particular automobile, and they've just been going through the roof. Hearing rumors that this vehicle is going to cost somewhere between 27,000 euros and almost 40,000 euros, nothing real official, but pre-orders have just been, they've been knocking it out of the park. Over 8,000 pre-orders have already been signed up for from BMW. They've got to be just overwhelmed, and pretty impressive for a little plug-in electric, their little first foray into the EV world. Next up on the list, Subaru is showing off this concept. It's going to be shown off at the Tokyo Motor Show. Don't know a whole lot about this car, other than it's going to have a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making somewhere around 150 brake horsepower. The weirdest thing about this car is its name. The concept's name is actually derived from 3 names, according to Subaru. The first name being Legacy. Obviously, they've had Subaru Legacies for many years. The second one's Revolution. And the third one's Touring. And they came up with this name. It's spelled Levorg. Levorg. What is that? Levorg? Levorg? I don't know what that's supposed to be. And I definitely don't know how you got them out of all those names. Seems pretty weird to me. But we'll hear something official when Subaru shows off this particular automobile in Tokyo in the next several weeks. Next up on the list, well, the Center of Transportation Policies actually did a small study. And in their study, they came up that they figured that the new run to autonomous automobiles is going to be good for the economy, which sounds weird and sounds like quite the stretch, right? Well, they claim that if 10% of the U.S. market bought and used autonomous automobiles, it would take a lot of the driver error and maybe lessen the accidents. They're figuring that with 10% of the market using it, it could save over 1,000 lives a year. And they're already talking that could be in the tens of billions of dollars saved for the U.S. economy. They're also talking that if you could bump that up to 90% of the U.S. market driving autonomous automobiles, that you could save over 20,000 lives and over $450 billion. Now, it's hard to ever say whether this could be true or not, but it makes sense, so we'll wait and see what comes of this in the future. And last up on the list, we're going to talk about the little Ford Fiesta, as this brand new 1-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine is going to be coming to the U.S. market very, very soon. Ford released official specs on this particular engine, and they're pretty entertaining to listen to. Here, this vehicle will be making, out of a 1-liter turbocharged engine, 123 brake horsepower, not too shabby, and 125 pounds-feet of torque. But Ford gave you a little boost in that thing. A little overboost is what they're calling it. For 15 seconds, the car can make almost 150. 145 brake horsepower is what they're talking about. Now let's talk about the real deal numbers. As I just came off working for a fella that was actually had a little Toyota hybrid vehicle that he's had for 8 or 9 years, who he claimed would never sell because that thing was making over 40 on the highway. Well, guess what this little sucker is? Non-hybrid. It's going to make 32 in the city and 45 on the highway. Hugely impressive. Now, there is a little problem. With a turbocharged engine, a lot of people get a little bit addicted to that boost, that little turbo boost feeling. So, maybe a little bit more difficult to get those fuel economy numbers with that little overboost option. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this week's Motor Cars Enthusiast. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.